Okay, so right now I'm in the app.js here, and we are basically going to set up some routing for the login that we set up, the login functionality that we set up here, right? So basically, what do we want to do? You see, after we're able to log in, we want to be able to show the home page. We want to be able to check if the user state has been updated in a global variable or in a context, right? We want to check if it has been updated. Now, if it has been updated or if the user is available, we want to show the home page. But if it's not, we want to make sure that we are showing the login or the register pages, right? So in order for us to be able to do that, we'll go into the app.js here, right? And then we'll make sure that we are importing our context. So we can say const what? Then we can say we are taking in the user, right? And then if you're not sure of the variables, you can simply create like an empty object here, and then you can just equate it to a useContext. Okay, then you take the actual context that you're looking for, auth context. Then inside here, when you come here and try to write an object, it can complete it for you. Alright, now that we have that, we can go into the element here, and then we can say this user. If this user exists, give us the home page, right? But if that user is not there, I need you to give us the register page instead. Okay, this is one way to implement this. And also, now that we have that, we can also come to the login side here, and then we can say if this user exists, right? We want to basically navigate. Okay, I want to navigate, then we import that. So you see it should be up here. Yeah, so I want to navigate to where? I want to navigate to the home page. That is if the user exists. But if the user doesn't, I want to stay in the login page, right? So now that we have this, I can basically just copy, or let me just copy this side actually. Just copy this side and then paste it here. Alright, then we should be okay, we should be done with it. Alright, so when I go back here, you can see that the user doesn't, let me refresh. You see that the user doesn't exist, so we are in the register page, right? Now let's quickly go into the login page here, and then let's use the credentials that we had. Okay, and we right, then I would log in, and as you can see, it has opened, and then the data is what is about to be displayed over here. Okay, that's been displayed successfully, and yes, we can now go into people's profiles and see what is going on over here as well. Okay, so now that we have that working, we are going to move on to the next thing. That is, we are going to work on the register. We are going to work on the register functionality. Alright, let's quickly do that. So let's quickly set up the functionality for register, right? So in order for us to be able to do that, we can quickly go into the login side, and then we can go for the use states over here. Alright, so just gonna copy this, come back here, and I'll paste it here. Then I can basically add extra fields, that is the username, and then I can just add this, and I can basically add one more field and say what? Confirm password, right? Now that we have these fields here, what can we do to them? Let me shut the mic. Check. Okay, it works. Now that we have these 4 fields, what can we do to them to be able to use them? Now inside here we have the username, right? So you're just gonna add an onChange function. So on onChange, then it's going to take in the e, then target dot value target. So sorry, set auth to be the set auth to be an object, right, which we are going to spread this auth. So we are going to say everything inside the auth, including what for the username here. We are going to take the e.target.value. Okay, now that we've been able to set this up, you can basically just copy this and then put it inside the email, and then set this one up as well. Then we can take this again, of which we've already copied, and put it inside the password. Should be password as well. And then over here, which is the confirm password, we just add and rename it to confirm password. Alright, now that we have this set up, we can basically come here and set this to a form and make it a form, and then we can basically come here as well, make it a form. Right, now that it has been made a form, what our main aim right now is that this form is also going to have an on submit. So I'm basically going to say on submit, and then this on submit is going to have a handle register function. So inside here I can say what const handle register, and it's going to be an async function, and then inside this async function we are basically going to pass in this e, and then we prevent default. Right, prevent default. Okay, let's not forget prevent default. Then let's make sure that all the fields are also required. That's very important. So I'll say required, then I'll say required as well. I'll also say required here as well, and then for the last one I'll say required as well. Alright, now that they are all required, let us do a few things. Right, now we want to make sure that before we send the form, we are checking if the password and the confirmed passwords are the same. Right, so in order for us to be able to do that, what we want to do is we basically want to create a check. So we can say if what the confirm password that we have, right, this confirmed password of which you are going to get from this auth. So if we say auth dot confirm password, right, so let me rewrite it well so that you see that it's part of it. So auth dot what confirm password, right, is not equal to what the auth dot password. If it's not equal to that, we want to do something, right, or else we can basically do a try catch, log the error, and basically perform our register user. Right, so we are saying that if we check the auth.confirm password here, okay, and we see that it's not equal to this password field, or it's not the same as this password field, we want to set a custom we want to set this custom validation to it. Right, so basically what we have to do is, I mean, there are two ways we could do this. Right, we could simply just alert them by saying that, alright, so we can simply say passwords do not match. That is one way we can say that. Okay, so and then for here we can just console.log do something. All right, so when we come back here and then we say and then over here we write something that doesn't match with this, and we say, you see that it just comes out alerting you that passwords do not match, right? Now I can see, you see that it says use states is not defined. Let me just refresh. I already imported it here, so it should work. So yeah, so it's here. So yeah, so basically when we just type in anything and send something that doesn't match, we should get it, right? Now another efficient way to handle it, okay, so as you can see, our form sort of submits and then refreshes. That's because we did not set this up well. Let us add this bracket to it, and then now when we get the error, it shouldn't refresh anymore. Alright, so okay, then you do it well, right? Good, that is all. Alright, so basically another way to do it is to use a toast component, right? Now one toast component we can use is the React toast. So we can do that by saying npm I react toastify. We can say react toastify. Okay, then that should install react toastify for us. While react toastify is being installed, we can import it. Okay, or let's not even import it. I think we can do that straightforward while we are trying to use it. So over here we can say toast, right? We can say toast dot error, right? Once it's done installing, we can be able to just say toast dot error, and then this should come up, or this should be able to work for us. And then secondly, it wouldn't work immediately because we've not been able to identify it inside our main component or at the top of our main component, right? So one thing we can do is we can basically just come here, create an empty fragment, right, and then copy this and put it here. Alright, now that we have this, we are going to import a few things and then we are going to put it on top of our component. Okay, alright, so basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to import the toast container from react.toastify. I'm going to import this. You're going to have to copy the exact same directory, and then inside here you just import it. So toast container, you make sure that it's on top of your component at all times. So it's here, toast container. So basically it's being wrapped around with these two empty fragments that we have here, right? So this toast container that we have, now that it's here, we can now work with toast anywhere. Okay, so inside our register here, we already have been able to learn how to alert this custom validation, right? But we are going to now use the toast to do that. So in order for us to do that, we can now clean this and then say toasts, and then it should be able to import it. So it's here, toast.error. Okay, now this toast.error that we have here, when we go back to the browser here, let me refresh it here. So we are in the browser. I want to say anything and anything, then over here I would say anything, something that doesn't match, right? Then I would send. Now you can see that it gives us the message saying what passwords do not match, right? So now that we've been able to set this up, in case the passwords do match, what do we want to do? We want to start making our API calls, right? But before we do any of that, I remembered we forgot to add this, so we're going to make this what? A type of submit. Okay, submit. Alright, so it's going to submit the form. Okay, so now let's start performing our activities. Let's start doing stuff, right? So in order for us to start doing stuff, I'm going to go into the API, the auth API here, right? And then I'm going to export another function that we're going to use, right? But in order for us to be able to do that really quickly, I'm going to go here and then copy this one nicely. I'm going to close it and come here and then paste. Then I'll say what? Register user. All right, now register user. Then I would give it, let me check my mic, right? Then I would give it auth, then I would say register. Let's check to make sure that it's right. You can go here, then auth register. All right, then that's it. Then over here you can give it a comma and then say data, and then this data is going to be taken in as an argument through a parameter here. So data. All right, now that we've been able to set this up, we can go back to the register, and then we can see what, since it's an async, we can await what, register user from the auth API here. Then inside this register user, the data we are going to pass is going to be the object that we are going to get from here. So I'm basically going to copy this, and then I'll pass it in here. Of course, after passing it, I would say what, auth.username. Alright, then I would copy this, paste it, copy, paste it, and then paste it one more time. Then I would say what, email, oh come on, then I would say password. Then over here I would say what, confirm password as well. Right, now that we have this all set up, okay, so basically for this one we wouldn't even need to pass in confirm password because it's not part of what is inside our schema. If we go and check here, the user schema, it's not part of it, it's just password, right? So we don't need it. We just need a confirm password to check, to do our checks, right? Okay, so once this is successful, I want the tools to send a message, right? I want the tools to send the message, right? So basically what I can do is I can put this in a variable, say response, right? Now I can say that toast, no, come on, let me close this. I can say toasts, so I can say toasts here, toast.success, toast.success would be this response.data.message. Okay, that can be one thing, or that can be one way we can send that success message. That is because when the reason why I knew that there's going to be a message is that when you come here to the auth controller here, you can see that once we pass the user data, we're also getting the message, right? So that's how come I was able to get that right. Then over here, in case there's any error, you can come and say that's toast.error, and then we can say what, res.response dot I think check on it. Alright, it's back. So res.response dot I think I'm forgetting it. Is it message? But we can basically check it out. We can check the error. Yeah, we can check the error. But for now that we don't know what the error is, I'm basically going to say toast.error, and then I'll say what, something went wrong for the meantime. Something went wrong. Alright. we get an error, we can basically come and check and then pass in the right object. Okay, so we want to make sure that once the user has been registered, we can send the user to the login page, right? So in order for us to be able to do that, we need the use navigate hook. I'm going to say const navigate and then use navigate. Okay, and I'm going to import it. Right now inside here, alright, so once it's successful, it will give us the message and then it will send us to the login page. Right, so yeah, let's do it, let's test it. So over here we can say test guy 1, then we can say test guy 1 at gmail.com, then test one more time. Then we can, it says something went wrong, we can use this to check for the error. So it says what, error.response.data.message, response.data.message, that is if there's something like that. But it says, what is this saying? This one, it says what, not found. What exactly is not found? Auth.register is not found. That is weird, because we literally just checked it. Let me refresh and try one more time. Test guy 1, test guy 1 at gmail.com, test and test. Check my mic. Okay, works. Then let's go back to the server. Maybe it's network issues. Server, I'm going to come here and save, and then let's also make sure that the routes are correct. So it's auth register. Okay, so inside here it's what, auth register. Okay, post, it has to be a post instead, post auth register. Okay, so now that it's here, or it refreshed, no problem. Let's do that one more time. Test guy 1, test guy at gmail.com, and then test. Okay, then you can send. Okay, so you can see that user has been registered successfully. And okay, so let's not save. Let's not forget the error. The error object was going to be what, rest.response.data.message. So we can log it all together with it in case there's any. And then over here we can see what, test guy 1 at gmail.com and test guy 1. Oh yeah, it was just test, right? So I'll log in and you can see we have logged in successfully. Alright,
I wanted to correct this one thing. This place has to be error.response.data.message. Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
thank you very much for getting to the part 2 of the authentication video. And so in the next part, we're basically going to go into the top bar or the nav bar, and then we are going to display the user information over here. Alright, okay, so I'll see you in the next video.